Hey guys, I hope you're doing well. Today I just want to show you 3 MIDI tips that I didn't know even after using Logic for years. I just found these out, sort of stumbled upon them recently. And I thought these 3 in particular were going to be really handy towards like just all the time when I'm making music, they'll come in handy. So I'll just keep it brief and show you. So the first thing is called MIDI Chase. So in Logic, if you play your song from a certain point, it'll only play the MIDI notes that start, sort of on or after that point. So I have these long string notes here that just go for 4 bars. And so if I start at bar 1, I'll hear the strings. But if I start my project playing at bar 3, I won't hear them. So I'll just show you that really quickly. This is what they sound like so you can listen out. So if I play from the start, I'll hear them. But if I play from bar 3, they're just not going to play. Which can be really annoying if you're working on a song that has like strings, or it could be any instrument, could be keys, something that's holding like a long chord or a long note, and it might be really important to the sound of the song and you're trying to work on the mixing or on adding other sounds and stuff, and you have to keep going back in your project and playing from like a couple bars earlier in order to hear that. But there's actually a setting you can change. So what you can do is click File and then Project Settings, MIDI, and then come up to Chase here. And there's this checkbox called Notes. So if you check that, now these notes are going to play no matter where you start from. So if I start from bar 3, I'll hear them. So yeah, it may seem like a pretty specific thing, but I feel like for day-to-day use, at least for me, that's like such a handy thing to know, and probably a setting I'll be changing on every project from now on. And so the next trick is something called Q-Flam. So this is something I've been doing manually for a while, and I didn't realize there's just an easy way to do it in Logic. So if we have a keys part like this, we can quantize, I've quantized these notes, so let's say they're all just a bit out, and you can just hit Q and put them, oh great, smart. Put them too far out. So yeah, you can just hit Q and put them all on the grid perfectly. But sometimes you might want the sound of what a keys player might do, or a player of any instrument might do, where you sort of hit the bottom note first, and then the second note up, and then the next note up, and then the next note up. So it's kind of like this nice roll. So it's a roll kind of sound. So I used to do that, just by nudging these notes. So you can hold Alt on the keyboard and use the arrow keys and sort of nudge them across. And I was sort of doing that manually to create this sound of hitting one note after the other. But turns out there's a function in Logic where if you select this MIDI region and then go up to region here and open up more, if it's not already open, then you'll find this Q-Flam parameter. And if we turn this up, then it's automatically going to put each note out further and further. So, and it sounds really great, and it's so quick to do. And the way it works is based on a region. So I can't just select this one chord and have it apply to this one chord. It's going to apply to a whole region. So if you wanted to have it like, I think it probably sounds a bit intense having it on every chord in this song, for example. So what I could do would be just hold Command to get to my secondary tool, split like this first chord from these other ones, and then turn up the Q-Flam on this region. That'll apply it for me, and then I can select both of them, press Command J on the keyboard to join them back together, and then you can see I've still got my flam on the first chord and the other one's like normal. And the third and final trick is to reverse MIDI, because a common trick these days with modern production sort of sounds is to have some reversed sounds in your song and maybe just use them at particular moments, or to create a ear-catching effect. But it's actually really easy to do. So the problem is if I bounce out, like if I create an audio file of these keys, and then reverse that audio file, the chord progression is going to be backwards. So what I need to do is make it go backwards first. So I can come up here, just open up the MIDI region, open the piano roll using these scissors, and then I can click Functions, MIDI Transform, Reverse Position, and just click Select and Operate. That'll just select all the chords in that region. And now I've got the progression backwards. And now I can go bounce in place, So I just right hand clicked on the region, and then it'll open up these settings, source, mute. So yeah, that actually sounds cooler than I expected, and using that MIDI feature is a much easier way of quickly getting to this final reverse result. So I hope these three things have taught you something new. Let me know in the comments if you have any further questions or if there's any other videos you'd like to see in the future. And thanks for watching, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Another day, I'm seeing daylight. No sleep, I gotta break night. Sometimes I go and break mics.